What is going on, Amazon sellers? Welcome to the Flips Nation channel. My name is Rob and I do about $20K a month on Amazon, doing mainly online arbitrage and private label. I'll jump right into the video, but if this does help you out, please do drop me a like and sub. It helps get this information out to other sellers that may need it. And if you want to join the free Flips Nation Amazon FBA Discord group, that link is below. So let's get on with the video. If you're watching this video, perhaps you want to get started with Amazon FBA and you're just overwhelmed with which route you want to start just because there's so much information out there. So I meticulously do both private label and online arbitrage for well over a year now. So I'll do my best to guide you before you make any kind of rash decisions, especially because there's so many gurus out there that just prey on ingenuous people. I don't have anything to sell you other than ask for a like and sub. So I'll do my best to help guide you. So moving along, what I'll be going through in this video is defining the various business models that you want to get started with Amazon with, discuss what kind of capital you might need for those various models, and what you can expect from these models as far as success, risk, and timeline before you start making money and before you profit. So I'll see you on the other side. So the three main business models as far as selling on Amazon are as follows: online or retail arbitrage, private label, or wholesale. Now, if you're interested in one already, feel free to fast forward because I will be going into depth on each one, starting with the first one, which is online or retail arbitrage. Now, this is a fairly simple model. You're essentially buying something online or in store and then selling on Amazon for a profit. Now, retail arbitrage, again, it's pretty common sense. You're flipping it from going into the store, while online arbitrage, you're purchasing from their online site or just a strictly online only site, then going forward to selling it on Amazon. So you're selling with trusted brands like Nike and Lego. So as a result, you're not paying for PPC or any kind of ads on Amazon. This is in contrast to private label, where essentially it's pivotal to run ads because no one's searching for a brand new ad that came up because they don't know about it yet. Now with arbitrage, you're going to need various softwares like Keepa, Seller Amp, mainly to analyze these listings, going through their price history, their sales volume, and just helping you further your buying decisions. Now, once you get these items from the website or a retail store, you're going to want to label them. You're going to want to prep them yourself until you're doing enough volume to where you're going to outsource that to a prep center, which the prep center is going to be doing the same thing, right? They're getting your items that you're ordering online. They're going to prep them for you, and they're going to ship it to Amazon on your behalf. Once it reaches the Amazon FBA warehouse, whether it be from you sending it out or your prep center sending it to them, they will, meaning the Amazon employees, will ship those items out to the customer after the customer has made that order on the Amazon.com site. Margins for OA or online arbitrage is about 20 to 25%, so it's essential for you to manage your cash flow, utilize credit, utilize cashback companies like Rakuten and Top Cashback, and just try to prioritize faster moving products so you can compound your money and just keep that cash flow moving. Now, I do have a video on the exact ways that I personally source. If you're interested in that, should pop up if you're interested. So let's go move on to capital, right? How much capital do you need for arbitrage? Well, obviously, minimum at least $100. However, if you have more money, it's going to be obviously advantageous. But if you're just starting off with a few $100s, you can do it. However, you can't just go off and start buying Nike shoes, right? You want to start buying things that just have a higher ROI, like used books. Maybe even just start buying things that cost less, like grocery items. Albeit if it's something that has a high ROI, like that, like used books, they are going to be slow movers, right? So perhaps if you're starting off with lower capital, start off with that and let that money compound to where you can start moving on to things that move quicker. You'd rather sell 100 units a day with a lower ROI versus 10 units a day with a higher ROI. Now, nonetheless, you can start with large or low capital, but you want to get to that level where you're just pushing money out, buying things that just fly off Amazon and just letting your money compound. So you can just really focus on managing that cash flow and managing what kind of things you're sourcing and buying, right? So that's it for online arbitrage. We're going to move on to private label. All right, so private label. This is a much more intricate model due to all the moving parts. I myself have two private label brands, and let me just jump right into how long it actually takes to actually launch your product. Okay. Now, like I said before, you're starting your own brand, so you have to get registered with the USPTO, which is the Patent and Trademark Office. You do this so you can become brand registered on Amazon to have your own store and have all these brand registered perks like filing IP complaints and so on and so forth. So from the start, right, from the very beginning, you're going to spend about 1 to 2 months with just the product research and sample research. Why? Why is because you're going to be ordering samples and testing your potential product from various manufacturers. Many people will be using softwares like Helium 10 to do this keyword research in conjunction to the product research itself. The suppliers that many people use, of course, Alibaba over in China. Now, let's say you find a sample from a supplier in Alibaba that you like, but there's something that you don't like. There's some details that they're missing, so you want to go back with another supplier, and you can kind of have this little back and forth. And to get the sample to your location from China also takes a little while, especially if you go with some sort of custom design, in contrast to their in-stock units. So as you can see, all this back and forth, testing, whatnot, takes some time. I would give it probably a solid 2 months to where you can finally be like, okay, we're going to run with this product from this supplier with this unit price that y'all have agreed on. Okay, so let's say after that couple months, after all the meticulous work and research, you finalize a product and negotiate with your supplier on a unit price that makes sense for both of y'all. Now, once you make this order, you're going to want all those units to get sent over to Amazon FBA warehouse. But wait, before that even happens, they have to manufacture the product, right? And especially if you had it, customized to what you want your product to look like, this could take another 1 to 2 months for them to actually manufacture it. Especially if it's like 1,000 units, it's going to take them a solid 1 to 2 months. So now we're already 1 to 2 months in the sampling researching phase, another 1 to 2 months with the actual manufacturing phase. So now we're 4 months in, right? It's 4 months in for them to actually be saying, okay, we're ready to ship this out. So when they actually ship it out, we're going to add another 2 months for that shipping time from China to reach your location or whatever location you have them send it to, whether it be your house or Amazon FBA warehouse. So now we're 6 months in, right? 2 months researching, sampling, 2 months manufacturing, and then another 2 months to actually ship it. So this is going to be the final phase for the units to reach the Amazon FBA warehouse. And during this time, you should be getting all your research done as far as what keywords you're planning on targeting on Amazon's PPC platform, as well as all the photos you want. Maybe you want to have someone in China, which what I have is I have a person in China that takes the photos, that does the inspection. The supplier will send some units over to him so I can get those photos as fast as possible. And as well as your listing, right? You want your listing to also be ready to go, include all the copyright, include all the keywords for SEO purposes. So hopefully this whole part saves you some time as far as realizing, what if a guru told you otherwise, that you can have a product ready in like a month or two. No, all that is BS. It really takes this long to actually get it from the whole researching sampling phase for it to actually get checked into Amazon FBA warehouse. It takes about 6 months. And, once it reaches the Amazon FBA warehouse, it still needs to get checked in, right? So once it gets to the Amazon FBA warehouse, it could take another 2 to 3 weeks for them to check all those units in. Okay, so now as far as capital, I would suggest at least $10,000. Let's take, for example, you buy 1,000 units for $5 each. That's $5,000 right there, right? And then shipping it from there, from China to the Amazon FBA warehouse may run you another $1,000. This really is dependent on the actual volume of the units, how heavy it is, but we'll just go with $1,000. And there's also other miscellaneous things like software, like Helium 10 cost, those product photos I discussed, copywriting, inspector may charge you another $200, $300 to check all your units. Then you still haven't paid for ads yet, which I highly recommend paying for some sort of valuable course to learn how to actually run those ads, because that's a whole nother animal in itself. And you have to run those ads correctly, the most cost-effective way, but also utilizing those ads to make a profit. Now, I would assume that you got enough units to know to where you aren't going to go out of stock, right? Let's say those 1,000 units that you bought, you're projecting that they're going to go out of stock in I don't know, maybe 6-7 weeks. Well, you know the lead time. You know how long it takes for those units to come from China to your house. So you need to make another order pretty soon, maybe even 2 weeks in, when you know they're gonna be out of stock soon. Because the worst thing that can happen to your listing is going out of stock. Why? When you go out of stock, all the keyword that you've been ranking for, that you've been working on your Amazon PPC game, is gonna go downhill, right? You're not getting those sales anymore. So Amazon's like, okay, so-and-so's listing is not making sales on this keyword. So we're going to rank him below another listing that is doing well and is making Amazon money above yours. So this is a whole other thing, right? Once you already have these units in, you have to be waiting, ready after doing your Amazon PPC, checking it every day, whatever. You need to be ready to order some more and have it checked into Amazon so your listing just stays alive. So just to summarize, we spent $5,000 on the initial units, just the units itself. Now you know that you need to order more units so your listing doesn't die. So you order another $5,000 worth of units. So now we're at $10,000, and I haven't even included the Amazon PPC cost yet. Now, why do we need to run these ads? You're running these ads not just to run the ads and get sales. You run these ads to keyword rank with your PPC, so then you can also get that organic rank. You know, people are searching for a certain keyword. Amazon's algorithm doesn't know to rank you on these keywords until it understands that you're getting sales with your ads on those keywords. So you got to keep up your organic rank as well as your PPC keyword rank. So another $5,000 on your PPC. So $5,000 on all the units you paid, another $5,000 that month on your Amazon PPC, another $1,000 on shipping, another $100, $200, $300 on those miscellaneous units I was talking about. And then finally, if you have to order more stock because you're going out of stock soon by the end of that month or earlier, another $5,000. And that's why I started this with saying you need to have at least $10,000, unequivocally $10,000 in capital. Don't let the other gurus tell you otherwise. Okay, so moving on to wholesale. And as I said prior, I do both online arbitrage and private label. However, I do have several friends that do wholesale and I speak with them on a regular basis. And I also fully intend to start opening Amazon wholesale accounts in this coming year. So let me just go over some information that I understand, that I know of. Wholesale is similar to private label in that you're buying a bulk amount of units from either the brand directly or from an authorized distributor of that brand. However, in contrast to private label, it's a brand that most mainstream people already know about, or maybe even if it's a smaller brand, a particular niche, which could still be a lot of people know about. Therefore, you're not going to have to run ads for this listing because people are already searching it, right? It's already, all the keywords for that brand is already organically ranked, unlike private label where you ran those ads because no one knows about your brand yet. So you have to build up those organic ranks. So the actual difficult and time-consuming part is finding these wholesale products and finding these wholesale accounts, right? It'll take a lot of digging, some calling, and just outreaching to these sales representatives. You then would have to negotiate with the sales rep to come to an agreement on a price that makes sense for you and them, but for you so you can make a profit on Amazon. Now, unlike arbitrage, the lead time is going to be long like private label. So you'll have to make sure things come on time for things like Q4. This is in contrast to online arbitrage, where if you make an order, you can get it in like 2 days. You get it at least within a week with online arbitrage. But with private label and wholesale, there's a much longer lead time for your units to actually get checked in to the Amazon FBA warehouse or to your own location. Okay, but however, wholesale can be very lucrative as your relationship with that sales representative nourishes and cultivates, because maybe down the road you'll have more capital and then you'll be able to buy more of their stock at a lower price and eventually make even more profit per unit selling it on Amazon. And number two, it's a lot less work as far as comparison to online arbitrage. You don't have to go and source every day. You already know what units you're going to be buying from what sales rep, and you're just going to be buying it in bulk. Done, right? Versus even private label, private label, you're finding new products, you're thinking of new ways to make products. All that thinking and stuff is not present with wholesale, because all these wholesale units and brands are already well known by customers. It's already in demand. You're not creating demand like private label. You're not looking for various units like online arbitrage. Things are just more streamlined and more simple with wholesale. And something I've been doing with, if you're just doing online arbitrage right now and thinking about going to wholesale, whenever you find certain units that are kind of niched down, like for instance, let's say you're in a health and beauty category and there's a certain kind of health and beauty product that it doesn't necessarily get like 5,000 sales a month, but it does get, 1,000 sales a month. Well, obviously there's a demand there. There's a niche demand there. So perhaps you can reach out to that health and beauty brand. Maybe, hopefully others haven't done the same already, but that might be a better possibility of you landing a wholesale account with them versus, trying, a bigger mainstream brand like Dove or, Crafts or something like that. And as far as capital, you will need something similar to PL, private label. The more money you have to offer to the sales rep, the more money she makes, right? And the lower unit price that you can get it for, which again, similar to PL, private label, the more you buy, the more money you can throw at the sales rep or the suppliers, the better unit price that you can get and a better deal and bang for buck that you can get for those units to eventually make more profit on Amazon FBA. All right, so those are the 3 business models: private label, arbitrage, and wholesale. My recommendation is for someone who's thinking about going into Amazon this year, just remember it's a long-term game. Despite any model you take, it's a long-term game. You have to stay consistent and you'll eventually get there. You can profit as soon as your first sale with online arbitrage versus private label and wholesale. However, it will take some time for even online arbitrage to acquire multiple profitable ASINs and find replenishables, meaning items that can be sold every single month. If you want guidance and help on how to find those profitable items, I'll drop the video above. Should see. Now, if you want to do private label and have the capital for it, go ahead and do it. I still think you should start with online arbitrage and learn the process first, and make sure you're learning and buying a course from a valuable person who actually has insight and not just some guru who's feeding you BS to any kind of naive person just to get your money, of course, and sell you a dream. This will take a long time. As I went back on my private label stuff, all that information was there to let you know that it does take all that time to actually launch your product. And there's a risk involved there too, because you don't even know if the product will do well, right? So hopefully me going through these has your decision just in a better place rather than where you were before you watched this video. And if you did find this video helpful, informative, please do drop me a like and subscription. It helps me out and helps get this information out to other sellers. And if you want to go through all my other videos, if you're into online arbitrage, I have Keepa videos, Seller Amp videos, inventory videos. So anyways, that wraps it up for this video. I hope you found it useful. Until next time.